Okay, no codes, but you're not working. That's a little strange. Let's see some data. That's really strange. Okay, so it can't read data. Read fault code. But we have no codes. Why can't we read codes but not data? Welcome back, everybody. That last video, the 19 Civic, that was a little too easy, I'm sure, for everybody. So hopefully this one is going to be a little more interesting, a little harder. It is a 2017 Equinox that nothing with the radio works. Won't work. Nothing. The AC controls do work. So I don't know if you can hear the fan speed or not, but it definitely is working. You can turn it off, but yeah, the radio part doesn't work. The screen doesn't work. The controls don't seem to be doing anything. We can't read live data from the radio, but it says there's no codes in it, so that's a little strange. So let's get into this one and see what's going on with it. This one doesn't seem to be any easier or any harder. So I quickly just checked the fuse to the radio because, yeah, I gotta start with the fuse, of course. And it is in the instrument panel down here. There's a little cover you pop off and it's in there. Fuse is good. Lit a test light bulb, no problem. And from my time in the dealership, I could remember these having an issue where the screen would go black and stuff. And I was thinking there was a software update for this concern, and basically you could do a global reset and get it back working, do a software reset. And while I was trying to find that bulletin, I come across another bulletin, number 17 NA111, blank radio display with no audio, and this is only for 2017 models with RPO codes UHQ, UFU, and UP9. Your RPO codes most of the time are in the glove box. So right here we had UFU, UP9, and the other was UHQ. Do we have a UHQ? I don't see a UHQ. Might be overlooking it, but I don't see it. But we got two out of the three, the UFU and the UP9. So this bulletin may pertain to us. And it does say the condition, customer states, infotainment goes blank, no audio is heard. Some customers report that the chime is the audio, the only audio that they hear. Well, if we open the door, yeah, we have a chime. It also says technician, go away, technician may not find any DTC stored. Perfectly, exactly kind of what we have. This condition is caused by an internal radio concern. And what they want you to do is replace the radio. So I guess this one isn't going to be any harder than the Civic. I tried, guys. I tried. I'm going to actually pull this thing apart. I'm just going to double check everything at the module. I'm going to try to global reset it, see if I can get it back up and going. If I can get it back up and going, and there is a software update, I'm going to try it. It does give a note on here, and important, do not program radio software. Well, whatever. I mean, if it's broke, if it's broke and the software doesn't fix it, I don't care if the software bricks it. That's basically saying you don't use a USB to program it and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to just shoot it through the O2B connector and see what happens. So let me try to get this thing reset, see if I can get it back working, and go from there. Well, if you can see it back there, the Equinox is at my shop. Called local dealer to get a price on a new radio. It's absurd. Almost $800. I think it was $790 and some change, and that was my cost. So a little bit ridiculous. So the shop got us a used one here, and of course it's a Global A car. When we plugged it up, this thing set theft code, and SPS would not program it. So since GM won't let it program, it says action locked, or action blocked, I think it was. Anyway, here's the screenshots of it. It's basically saying that it won't program it because it's already got the current calibrations in it. But also, if you look up in service information, this it's a B1271 code that the radio was setting, and of course the screen comes up and says locked. It basically says that this radio VIN doesn't match the VIN of the car, so it doesn't work. And if you read the flow chart, basically it just says, is this radio setting this code? If it is, then you just replace the radio. So the description even says this is a one-time VIN learn module, but we're going to try to get around that with some Eeprom work. And I've got the original radio all took apart. You had to completely disassemble it because the Eeprom is right here, and on the original, or a new radio, let's see, that would be living, let's see, right here. So about right here, you can see this little pad right here heat sinks to this right here, so the Eeprom would be basically right there. And you've got to take apart the entire radio to get down to this little thing. So I got it out, and just looking at it, it is a ST21128 RT. I don't really think the RT matters a whole lot, but I did try reading this with a few different programmers to see which one works the best, and surprisingly enough, I've got one programmer that reads it, and it's one I just got literally yesterday. It's the TOPDON T Ninja box. They did send it to me, very thankful. TOPDON is actually helping me out a whole lot, but yeah, it was the only one that reads this. And I did it two ways. I read it in circuit with just a little clip, and it actually doesn't even come with this. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't come with this. So I'm just using the Alltel one. These are all the same basically. So, you know, if you've got one, it'll work. But I read it in circuit, and then I took it out and read it out of circuit. And according to the TOPDON, they are the exact same, and it has a compare feature in here. So let me kind of get this set back up to where I can pull that up and show you that. All right, so on the scan tool to get to the T Ninja box, it's kind of a little bit more confusing than how, like, say, the XP400 Pro is, but you've got to have your VCI or MDCI, okay? And the T-Ninja box comes with a power adapter that you have to plug into this Y harness, okay? I know I got a lot of stuff laying around here, but so this could actually plug into the DLC if you needed it in the car and you didn't have to use this, but either way, it goes into this from here. So basically, you've got to have all three connected. And it also says it's best to use the USB cable to attach it to the Smart. And on the Smart, what you would do is go into your services menu and then scroll down a little ways, and then you got IMMO prog, and you're going to go through here and just say okay. You do have to be connected to internet, I believe, because it asked me at first. It said I wasn't connected to the network, so I then did connect to the network. But anyways, this is going to show you just a little bit of how you connect it. We're going to hit OK, and it's going to talk to the box, make sure it can talk to it. And here's the checking the network connection. So from here, I just went into Eeprom, and like I showed you, it's an ST chip, and it's a ST24128. This doesn't show a 128, but it does show a 24C, so I selected that, and in here it does have a 24128. So that is how I read it. And like I said, I got other programmers. I've got a XP400 Pro. I've also even got just a regular XP400, but the Pro doesn't read it. I've also got an Xtool KC501. Neither one of these show this chip. So I'm not sure if you can actually read this chip as, say, like a 24C 64 or 32 or 01. I'm not sure. But this one is the only one that showed 24128. And it read it. Read it in circuit and read it out of circuit. And it read them exactly the same. So if we back out of here to this kind of main screen, we do have this data comparison. So if we click that, we can pick two files to compare. So right here you can see I've got three files. I've read it twice in circuit and once out of circuit. And then this original here, this EQU original, that was my first in circuit read. So I'm just going to select it and hit OK. Now we're going to go F2, and then this EQ1 out, that was me reading it out of circuit with the little I don't even know what to call this, but it's the little spring-loaded Eeprom holder. I love this little thing. So we're going to select that one, hit OK. So here's our two files. We hit comparison, and it quickly tells us that they are the same. So I'm not sure how accurate this compare is. I don't know if it's just basing it off of bit size or if it's actually looking at the data. I would hope it's actually looking at the data. I did actually pull the files off of here and put them on my laptop and run it through Beyond Compare, and it shows them being exactly the same as well. So I'm pretty confident this thing reads in circuit, at least this chip, perfectly fine. So now I'm going to take apart the donor radio, and we're going to see if I'm going to try a few things with them. First, I'm just going to try to edit the VIN number, put it back in there, and see if that fixes it, or if I need to actually copy the whole Eeprom over. I really want to try it because if I can just change the VIN number and there's no checksum errors or seed and key errors. That will help, like if you actually have a radio missing, completely gone, and you need to program a used one back to it. Well, GM's going to tell you no. So if we can just change the VIN in the Eeprom file, put it back in there, hopefully we can, you know, save some headache later on if we end up in one of these situations where the radio's just gone. Okay, so got the donor radio took apart here, got my clip on there, and anytime I'm doing these, I actually kind of like to just take this and kind of hold it down a little tighter before I hit the read button. So let's get back in here to our 120 or 24 128. I'm just going to hit this read. Failed, no big deal. Let's just kind of adjust our clip. Okay, we'll go read again. There we go. They got it that time. So we're going to name this one Donor 1 and confirm. And then I'm going to take the clip off and we're going to reset it again and just get a second read on it, just to make sure we got a good one the first time. Name this one Donor 2. Okay, and then we can compare these to see if they are the same. Donor 1 and Donor 2. Compare. Two are the same. So there we go. That is successfully read in circuit. Pretty confident. Now, the one drawback that I've found, and I might just not know how to do it yet, but I can't edit the file on the scan tool. I'm not sure if I'm just missing where I do that, so I have to take the files off onto my laptop, do the edit, and then put them back on. But the good thing about that is I can compare the original to this one and see all the differences in the Eeprom read itself. I do know that this original one, when I was trying to read it with GDS to find out the calibrations that was in it, because radios have probably like 10 different calibrations, it would not read all of them. It would only read like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 11, I think. It was skipping a lot of the even number ones. I got screenshots of that. So right here's the original radio, and then this donor radio. What GDS reports as calibration info. So there's definitely something wrong with that. I'm pretty sure it's probably one processor not talking to another. On the bottom here, there's two MCU chips, and I'm thinking maybe one of them doesn't like the other one for some reason. Not really sure. On the top, there's also these two chips. And then, of course, on this board, there's a few other little chips. I'm not real sure if that really matters or not, and I could probably play with these two and figure out if the problem's this main board or if it's the secondary board over here, but I don't really want to spend that much time with it, so we're just gonna get this donor one working, hopefully. So if you've never took files off of your Phoenix Smart or a few of the other ones, you're going to need a USB-C connector that you can run to your laptop, and then you've also need to go to your settings, Scroll all the way down to this settings and USB connection. You're going to need it in device mode. So once you're in device mode and you plug up your USB-C to your laptop, so far I've not figured out how to get it to work with my MacBook, just my Windows computer. But anyways, you're going to get this screen pop up. It might have to install the drivers or whatnot, but even if it doesn't pop this screen up automatically, when you go to your this PC, you should see Phoenix Smart show up there, and you come in here. I did take a picture of the file path to get to the files where it saves it, and for these files it saved it in folder ThinkCar for some reason, and then Tool Pro, and then this is the serial number of your device that you've got. So you go in there, diagnostics, MMO data, and you, for some reason it's got these two folders and it automatically put it in this VW folder. Not really sure why, but we're going to take off this donor file, and that's it. These are my other files here, and like I said, we're going to compare these from the original to the new file. So this is Beyond Compare. It is an awesome software for comparing files, especially bin files. So we're going to pick our second file here to compare, and there we go. As you can see, anything that's in red is different. So there is some differences. This stuff here, I don't really know why it does that. I don't know if that's a bad read or a good read. I do know in circuit and out of circuit, they're the same. But yeah, the files ain't terribly too different. So yeah, whenever I looked at it the first time, what? That's weird. This right here is pretty weird. Blink before you be you. I don't understand. Blink before you be you. Blink before you. Fox and Friends. Some programmer getting a little funny there. Not real sure. It's pretty weird. Some of the things you find in Eeprom files. So like sections like this is basically kind of like where one Eeprom has info, the other Eeprom doesn't have any info, I believe. Not real sure, but what I'm interested in is just changing the VIN file. So let me get back up here to the top where that was. So right here is the VIN in both of them. This one here, did this even get the whole VIN? 1, 2, let's see. Let me count these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one didn't read, or a space. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, so that's kind of weird. It's pretty weird. But anyways, we're gonna just ride in. I'm gonna put the whole complete VIN in here and see, just see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I think the shop paid $75 for this used radio, so if I break it to where it can't work, I mean, it's not gonna work anyway, because it's not in the original car. And we're just back at square one, and I'll pay them the 75 bucks for the radio for experimenting. So let me get my whole VIN number off the car, and we'll write that in here. Okay, so I've carefully just kind of stuck the two pieces of the boards together, and got the, I think they call it a LVDS cable or something like that. I can't remember. Whatever goes to the screen up here. This other plug, and then the main plug. I don't have any of the antennas plugged up. I'm not really too worried about those or the USB there. So let's turn this thing on and see what happens here. Oh, we got a Chevy logo, so it's at least booting up. Oh, I have audio. Look at that. Sweet. And there you go. That radio only needs the VIN changed in the Eeprom. So yeah, if you get one of these Equinox, this is a 2017 model, where the radio is missing, which I assume this might work on a lot of these. They call them silver box radios, basically where it's just a metal box, basically. Yeah, you can take this sucker apart, read the Eeprom with the T-Ninja box, change the VIN on a laptop, put it back in there, and you're good to go. Pretty easy. I would suggest, I was having some issues reading it with the clip. Sometimes I'd get a good read and sometimes not. So I would suggest unsoldering it off the board with hot air, and putting it in the little quick connect and read it that way. You can write it. It doesn't take very long to take one of these off, put it back on. The amount of time I was messing with that clip, trying to get it to write back, I could have had it off, wrote it, put it back on. So I would suggest, yeah, taking it off the board. So now all I've got to do is reassemble this radio, put it back in here, and this car is good to go.